Last video, we built an AI agent that drafts your email replies. It works, but it has amnesia. Every single email, it starts from zero. Someone writes to you for the 5th time this month, and the agent treats them like a total stranger. It reintroduces you. It repeats things you already said. It asks for information they gave you last week. Today, we fix that. And there's one design decision in here that almost every tutorial gets wrong, so stick with me for that part.
First, what memory actually is. It's simpler than it sounds. A language model has no memory at all. None. Every request you send it is completely independent. It doesn't know what happened 30 seconds ago. So when a chatbot appears to remember your conversation, it isn't remembering. What's happening is the software quietly resends the whole previous conversation with every new message. That's it. That's memory. It's not the model recalling anything, it's your system pasting the history back in every time. Which means memory isn't magic, it's a storage problem.
Now the part most tutorials get wrong. Memory needs a session key. That's just a label that says which conversation this is. Every message with the same key goes into the same memory thread. In a chatbot, that's obvious. One chat window, one session. But email is not a chat. There's no window. There's no session. So what do you use? Most tutorials leave the default, which lumps every email you've ever received into one giant shared memory. Your agent ends up mixing your client's project with your landlord's plumbing complaint. Here's the fix. Use the sender's email address as the session key. Now every person who writes to you gets their own private thread. The agent remembers your conversation with Sarah separately from your conversation with the bank. That one change is the difference between memory that helps and memory that actively makes things worse.
So you add a memory node, set the session key to the sender's address, and set a context window. That's how many past messages get sent back each time. 10 is a sensible starting point. Too few and it forgets. Too many and you burn tokens resending an entire year of email on every single reply. But there's a catch, and this is where I have to be straight with you. The easy option, the one called simple memory, stores everything in your computer's working memory. Not a database, working memory. Which means the moment you restart N8N, or even just save the workflow, it's gone. All of it. It's genuinely useful for testing. It is not useful for anything you actually depend on. The fix is to store the memory somewhere real, a database. In N8N, you swap the simple memory node for Postgres Chat Memory, and everything else stays exactly the same. Same session key, same context window. The only difference is the memory now lives in a database instead of thin air. Restart the machine? It's still there. Come back in 6 months. It's still there. There are other options too. Redis if you want conversations to expire automatically after a set time, which is genuinely useful for privacy. MongoDB if that's already your stack. But the principle is identical across all of them. Simple memory for testing, a real database for anything that matters. 3 honest warnings before you build this. First, memory costs money. Every stored message gets resent to the model on every single reply. A context window of 50 on a busy inbox will quietly multiply your API bill. Start at 10. Second, and please take this one seriously, you are now storing the contents of people's emails in a database. That is personal data. If you're handling anyone else's information, that carries real obligations. Keep the window short, delete old threads, and don't store what you don't need. Third, if you ever scale N8N across multiple workers, simple memory breaks entirely because each worker has its own separate memory and they don't share. That's not a bug, it's just how it works. Use a database and the problem disappears. The updated workflow is in the description, free, with the memory node already wired up and the session key already set correctly. Import it and it just works. Next video, we give the agent tools. Right now, it can only write. Next, it'll be able to check your calendar before it agrees to a meeting, which is the point where it stops being a writing assistant and starts being genuinely useful. Subscribe if you want that one.